of who you are. Life begins when you can answer the question of identity. Who am I? Not what do I have? Not what can I do? Who am I? So when you're uncertain about who you are, today you say you are this, tomorrow you say you are that. You try this business today, you try that business tomorrow. When there is inconsistency between your potential and your reality, when there's uncertainty about who you truly are and the unique and the proper role only you can play in the drama called life, in the movie called Destiny. So when a country, when an organization is subject to disorientation and they are uncertain about their true role in life, they are suffering from identity crisis. Let me share with us quickly some of the signs, the symptoms of national identity crisis. It can apply to individuals, it can apply to businesses, it can apply to communities, it can apply to uh, groups. All right. Number one of the signs, one of the symptoms of national identity crisis or personal identity crisis or business identity crisis or organizational identity crisis or national identity crisis is number one is self-doubt. One of the signs you know you're suffering from identity crisis is that you are always doubting yourself. Always doubting yourself. And what the greatest strategy of the enemy is to make you doubt yourself, is to make you disbelieve yourself, is to make you lose confidence in yourself. I know most people say, no, you don't have to believe in yourself. You just have to believe in God. No, you need to believe in God, but you also need to believe in yourself. A lack of belief in oneself is reflective of identity crisis. Nigeria is one nation. Africa is one continent that does not believe in herself. Number two, because of time, is a lack of belief in one's ability and potential to create and effect changes. Oh, please, if you're listening to me, do you believe in your ability and your potential to create and to effect changes? If you don't, it's because you are suffering from identity crisis. Do you believe that you have a unique ability? Do you believe that you have a unique potential to create and to effect changes in this life? In your environment, in your community, in that organization, in that company that you work with, or in your own organization, do you believe that you have the ability inherent, the ability intrinsic to create? The ability to create is in everybody. Some people are not creators and some people are consumers. Every human being was created by God to create. We are made in his image and in his likeness. So we have creative capacities. We have creative abilities. We have creative tendencies. We have creative inclinations. We have creative proclivities. You are a creator. When you don't believe that, you have the ability to create a product that people will demand for, that people will place value on. When you doubt yourself, when you lack the belief in your ability and your potential to create and effect changes, do you know what happens? You become a consumer. You become a consumer when you doubt your ability to create and your potential to effect changes. You begin to consume rather than produce. Producers are people who sustain a superior mindset that they have the ability and the potential to create and to effect changes. You are a change agent. Listen to me. I don't care where you're listening to me. I don't care what you have in your bank account. I don't care your family background. I don't care whether people know you or they don't know you. You have inherent, you have intrinsic the ability to create, the ability to effect changes. Whether they are financial changes, whether they are spiritual changes, whether they are social changes, whether they are mental changes, is within you. Number three, businesses, communities, is when you depend on others for resources you can produce. Wow. When you depend on others for resources you can produce. I hope you realize that as a country, Nigeria, Africa as a continent, most of the resources, most of the goods, most of the products you are importing, we have the natural resources to produce them. I'm going to say that again. Most of the resources, most of the products, most of the services we are importing, Nigeria is importing toothpick. Nigeria is importing rice. We have the ability to produce toothpick. We have the ability to produce rice, but we're importing. We import fish. We import chicken. When you suffering from identity crisis, you will depend on other countries, other nations for resources. You have the ability to produce. You have the ability to create. Number 4 is that you will undermine and belittle the products or the services of your fellow men. It's a problem of identity crisis. This is why my Abab brothers, manufacturers, when they produce a product, a shoe, a bag, they will write made in China. Because if they write made in Nigeria, Nigerians will not patronize Nigerians. Nigerians will rather patronize other nations because we think that quality, standard, superiority is from our foreign counterpart. It's a problem of identity crisis. When you cannot patronize the goods and the services of your fellow Nigerians or fellow Africans, you believe that it must be made in Nigeria, made in USA, made in Japan for it to be of high quality, you have a problem with identity crisis. Because now, please, let me say this. Let me make this disclaimer. I am not saying that Nigerians do not produce inferior products. I'm not saying Africans do not produce inferior products, but I'm also saying that there are Nigerians, there are Africans that are producing products of high quality, product of excellence, product of great value in this country, Nigeria, in Africa. Number 5 is that you believe that the best and superior services or products are from foreign counterparts. If it is made in Nigeria, it's not of high quality. I've talked about that. Then lastly, one symptom of the next point is that you define success by your ability to acquire things. That's how we define success. In Africa, you are successful to the degree to which you are able to acquire material wealth. How much cars do you have? How much houses do you have? So people will do all kinds of things. They will kill people because they want to be perceived by the society as successful. Success in Africa, success in Nigeria is defined or measured by material acquisition. It's not defined by your ability to create value, like Philip shared. We don't define success in Nigeria or in Africa by your ability to offer value. We define success by your ability to acquire things for yourself, not being of tremendous value in Africa. And then you are suffering from identity crisis. We are suffering as a country from identity crisis, or as Africans, when we believe that one race, one tribe, one ethnic group is superior than others. When we believe that one race, the white race, when we believe that the Yorubas, sorry, Oyedele, when we believe that one particular tribe or one particular ethnic group is superior than others, it's a problem of identity crisis. When we believe that Southwest are more educated, they are more enlightened, they are more of superior value than the North, it's a problem of identity. When we believe that the whites are better in thinking, in creativity than blacks, it's a problem of identity crisis. I want to make sure everybody is following. Joshua James.
Yes, sir.
I want to hear those who are online to share with us in 30 seconds what they are learning so far, so that I won't just keep talking. I want to hear people, those who are online, share with us in 30 seconds what you are hearing, that is striking to you and that is changing the way you think and see yourself? I want people to comment. I need feedback. Feedback. I need feedback. So let's start from our host. Let's hear from your host. Open the floor.
I thought we would just drop it in the chat box.
Okay, you drop it in the chat box. Are you saying that that's better, or you want people to speak?
Okay. Okay. I think basically we are beginning to see that one of the greatest enemy we have is the fact that we have an identity problem. That's our greatest enemy, and lack of having lack of discovering yourself or knowing who you are has hindered us from creating and then being innovative. So, and then practically, if you have a poor image about yourself, you cannot even think of creating. So you continue to be a consumer, someone that will only depend on those he think are superior to him and will always go to them
Wow.
to buy from.
Powerful,
Yes.
powerful, powerful. Great, great, powerful, 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 powerful.
All right, can I
Anyone?
share?
Go ahead, Mr. Philip. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Steve.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I'm seeing that one of our problem, emanated from the fact that we have this negative comparison mindset. So
Okay.
when we are comparing ourselves with others, we are weighing ourselves and we are putting ourselves automatically at a disadvantage.
Very true.
So there is a way we exalt others, neglecting our own uniqueness,
Powerful,
neglecting
powerful.
our own value, skills, and self.
Yeah,
So I feel this negative comparison has really eaten us deep, and it's part of a one source that we need to tackle as this identity crisis issue is related.
powerful. Thank you, thank you. Great contribution. Great, great. Thank you. Who else want to contribute? Who wants to share? I'm seeing John Edward. John Edward, do you want to say something? John Edward.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Steve, and the host of African Leadership. I'm quite following Mr. Steve. Thank you so much for the word you just shared. Maybe my contribution will come later on. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, all right, all right. Who else? Who else is online that want to comment or contribute? All right. I think we should move on, right, Josh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about how to solve the problem, because the issue of identity crisis cannot be, this seminar can truly not do justice. That is why I share a lot on self-discovery, because I'm telling the truth. I can tell you this: the day you discover yourself, you are free from identity crisis. The day you discover yourself, like Philip was sharing that one of the reasons, one of the problems you also have as a country or as individuals is the proclivity or the tendency to compare ourselves with others. And the Bible said, they that compare themselves with themselves are not wise. All right. You should only compare yourself with your ability, what you are able to do, what you have there. Do not compare yourself with other people. Compare yourself with your ability, compare yourself with your potential, compare yourself with your unique gifts, compare yourself with your purpose. You should do better today than you did previously. Not you should do better today than your friends. Your comparison is healthy to the degree to which you are comparing yourself with your purpose, with your gifts, with your ideas, with your potential. That is healthy competition. When you begin to compare yourself with other people, you will not express. Let me give you this story. Well, is it a story or maybe an illustration? Let's say a manufacturer manufactures two cars, two vehicles. A manufacturer manufactures two vehicles. Let's call the first vehicle, the first car A, and the second car B. Car A has the ability to run for 120 meters per hour, car A, vehicle A. Inherently, the manufacturer put that ability in that car to run for 120 meters per hour. Car B, the manufacturer put in that car the ability to run 180 meters per hour. It's in the car's ability, car B, to run 180 meters per hour, but car A, it is in the car's ability to run for 120 meters per hour. Let me tell you the thing. If car A is running for 120 meters per hour, car A is running because the ability to run for 120 meters per hour is inherent, eccentric is within him. And that car is running for 120 meters per hour. If car B is running for 160 meters per hour, do you know that if car B is comparing itself with car A, car B will fail? Car B will be excited rather. Car B will be happy if car B is running for 160. In comparison to car A that is running for 120, car B we say is better than car A. But the manufacturer will say that car B is not maximizing its ability. Do you understand the illustration?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So car B is running for 160 when the ability is 180. But car A is running for 120 because the ability is 120. But car B would think it's better than car A because it's running for 160. Car B is a failure in the eyes of the manufacturer because the ability in car B is 180, not 160. But car B will live its life comparing itself with car A, saying it's better than car A. That is why you should never compare yourself with other people. It's one of the greatest limitations of people. This is why people don't make progress. This is why people are not advancing, because they are always comparing themselves with other people. Compare yourself with your purpose. Compare yourself with your potential. Compare yourself with your ability, with your skill set, with what you are able to do, with who you are able to become, with how far you are able to go, not with other people. You can learn from people, but never become them. Learn from people, but never become them. All right? Not compare yourself with them, not competing with them, not conforming to the ideologies that is not consistent with your personality and what you represent. So let's go into the main crux of the matter. How do we solve the problem of identity in Africa? Solving the problem of Africans' identity. How do we solve it? Because you have established the fact that while we are a consuming nation, even though we are blessed with resources, even though we are blessed with so much manpower, even though we are blessed with so much intellectual skills, is because we have an identity crisis. The perception we have of ourselves is faulty, is erroneous, is inconsistent with our true potential. How do we solve this problem of Africans' identity? Number one is that discover your origin. What did I say? Discover your what? Your origin. If Africa is going to solve the problem of identity crisis, Africa must discover our origin. And please, when I say origin, don't think where the name African is coined. By origin, I'm saying the root of Africa. The root, Africa's root, is traced to its creator. The root of Africa is not traced to what the dictionary is saying about Africa or the Google is saying about Africa. The origin of Africa, the root of Africa, is where Africa came from. And I'm going to say this: Africa as a continent, Africans as a people, our root, our origin is in the fact that we are made and in the image and the likeness of God. Please believe this. Your root, your origin, where you are from, defines your identity. And you did not come from anywhere. You came from above. You came from above. You are not of this realm. Africa is not from this planet. Believe me, we are made in the image and in the likeness of the Creator. That's our origin. That's our root. We have the DNA of the Creator, not dark skin. Dark skin is not our origin. Dark skin is not our root. Our root is the fact that we are made in the image and the likeness of God. Please believe this. If you're going to have a healthy image of yourself, if you're going to have a transforming life that is a product of a healthy identity, you must realize that you came from God. And then you have to find out who God is. Because the qualities that God possesses is the quality that you possess. If God is creative, you are also creative. You have the DNA of a creator. If God is a problem solver, you have the proclivity and the tendency to solve problems that only you can solve, problems that are connected to your gifts and to your purpose, problems that are connected to the reason for which you were born. You came from God. Even though you are born by African parents, but you came from God. That's your origin. That's the key to solving. So if your parents are broke, that's not your origin. If your parents are not known, that's not your origin. Your parents are just vehicles. They are channeled. If you are Igbo, if you are Yoruba, if you are Idoma, if you are Igala, if you are Kaduna State, if that is not your origin, you know, when you are filling a form, they will say state of origin, right? And you're writing state of origin, you say you're from Benue, you're from Kaduna, you're from the, you mention your state of origin. But I want you to understand that your life origin is the fact that you came from God. Your state is just a vehicle. Your parents are just vehicle. Your tribe is just a vehicle. Your ethnicity is just a vehicle. Your true origin is that you hail from God. You came from God. That alone means that the DNA that you possess is a DNA that God possesses. One verse in the Bible says that what is man, Psalms 8, that thou art mindful of him. What is man that thou visited him? For you have made him a little lower than yourself. You have crowned him with glory and honor, and you have put everything under his feet. Your origin is linked to God, not to your parents, not to your tribe, not to your skin color, not to your family background, not to your ethnicity. Your origin is the fact that you came from God. And the qualities that God possesses, you also possess. God speaks things and they come into being. You possess the ability to speak things and they come into being. You can create things with your own mouth. You can create things with your words. God imagined the world and it became a reality through work. You have the imaginative ability to also bring into reality whatever you conceive. Your origin is from God. It is key if you're going to have a healthy, if you're going to solve the identity. So regardless of your religious beliefs, whether you're a Muslim, a Christian, you came from God. If everybody in Africa, we begin to see ourselves as made in the image and the likeness of God, whether we are Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Christians, Muslims, when you see us, when you see that individual, I wrote a post today on Facebook and I said, there's only one race. There's only one race in this world. It's called the human race. There are no two races. Only one race. It's called the human race. And the human race is a race that is made in the image and the likeness of God. When God was creating man, he said, let us make man. Let us make humans in our image. So that's our origin. I'm Idoma by tribe. It's a vehicle. I was born in Kaduna. It's a vehicle. It's not my origin. My true origin. I need to say this is powerful. The day you realize that your image is not your tribe, your image is not your skin color, your image is not where you are born, your image is not your tribe, your image is God's image. Your identity, your perception of yourself is altered, changes. Number two, because of time, discover your sense of value and uniqueness. Oh, how powerful it is. Discover your sense of value and uniqueness. Listen to me. You are not an accident. You're not a product of happenstance. You're not a product of coincidence. You're not a mistake. God did not just create you and wonder why he created you. You are valuable to this world. Believe me when I say this. You are so valuable that if you don't offer the value God placed inside of you for this generation, we're going to be in crisis. Let me say this. One of the reasons why we have so many problems in the world, so many problems in Nigeria, so many problems in Africa is because people do not realize how valuable they are. And people don't know their uniqueness. Do you know how valuable you are? Do you know what determines your value? Not the money in your bank account, not how popular you have, you are, not how much accolades people give you, not people's opinion about you, not where you graduated from, not the university you attended. There's nothing wrong with attending the best university. There's nothing wrong with driving the best car. There's nothing wrong in living in the best house. But your sense of value is inherent. Your sense of value is intrinsic. You came to this world as a person of value. You are valuable. Believe me when I say this. You don't need money to define your value. You are valuable without money. It's because you are valuable. That is why you should attract money. You are not less in value. You are valuable. You are unique. There's something in this world that nobody can do it the way you can do it except you. I'll say it again. There's something in this world that nobody can do it the way you can do it except you. Nobody in a population of over 8 billion people, there's an idea in your head. There's a way you can express your gift. There's a way you can communicate your thoughts. There's a way you can reach out to certain people that nobody can except you. That should change your perception of yourself. That should change how Africa sees herself. There's something Africa can offer to the world that no any other country can offer except Africa. Number 3, discover your unique purpose. Oh, discover why you are placed on this earth. If one of the fastest way to solving the problem of identity crisis is to discover your purpose. Why are you placed on this earth? Why are you in Nigeria? Why are you in Africa? Why? What problem does God want you to solve? You know why you were created? You know why you are created? You are created because you are needed. You are created in this world because you are needed in this world. If you are not needed, you will not be created. If you are not needed, you will not be created. There's a problem only you can solve. There's a need only you can meet. There's a value only you can offer. It's tied to your purpose, the reason for which you were born. And you need to find it. That's where life begins. The journey of life begins when you discover your purpose. The journey of life begins when you discover yourself, when you discover the problem only you can solve, when you discover the people only you can reach, when you discover the purpose of your gifts. This is important. I tell people, most people are functioning in their gifts, but they're not working in purpose. They sing, they dance, they write, they communicate, they lead. Yeah?
So we need to round up.
Oh, my time. Okay. Develop and capitalize on the resources that you are endowed with. Make a list of the resources that God has given to you and capitalize on that resources. You are endowed with resources. You are endowed with gifts, with abilities, with ideas. Capitalize on it. Lastly, brand and project to the world based on the resources only you can offer. Project yourself to the world based on the resources, based on the value that only you can offer. And then lastly, as I round up, you have to believe what God says about you, no matter what people say about you. You have to believe what God says about you, no matter what anybody says about you. Believe it. What does God say about you? Believe what God says about you. Not what other countries are saying about Africa. Not what the other Western world are saying about Africa. Africa has a purpose. Africa has a destiny. And because you're an African, you have a purpose. You have a destiny. You have a gift that nobody can offer it the way you can offer it. Nobody can reach the people you can reach. I pray that you find purpose. I pray that you find your unique gifts. I pray that you realize that there is so much in you than what you're currently offering. I'm challenged to begin to release what is inside of you for your generation. You have what the world needs. Believe when I tell you this. Let me just share this and then I round up. During the COVID-19, I wrote 2 books during the COVID-19. I wrote 2 books during this lockdown period. I made money selling those ebooks. I'm going to soon produce a hard book. I want to encourage you, if you can, send me a private message to get those 2 books. During the COVID-19, I lost a job with an organization I was working with, but I didn't lose my gift. You can lose a job, but you cannot lose your gift. You can't lose your purpose.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I think
Your image, your identity is in your purpose. Your identity is in your purpose.
thank you very much, sir, for the time
Your
and the
identity
value
is in your
delivered.
purpose. I appreciate
And
you. Thank you again and again and again.
thank you very much, sir. We are really grateful for this, how will I call it now, mind surgery. I think we have been able to identify or one of our greatest enemy in Africa, which is identity crisis. Identity crisis. Africa needs need to see herself in the light of the value that only her can deliver at the global stage. So we need to see ourselves in that light. I think when we begin to have a different perspective about ourselves, then we can begin to become productive and begin to produce that we will not only be consumers, that we will not only be people that we need to depend on others necessarily for everything, but we need to start thinking, okay, this as an African, there is something about us that is unique to us, that is not obtainable anywhere else in the world, and we need to capitalize on those uniqueness, and then we can now be able to build our brand around our uniqueness to be able to deliver and contribute our own quota in the global stage. So, so we really thank you very much for the value. We are really grateful for the information. It is transforming. It is mind blowing, and we really appreciate you for your time. We really appreciate you for the privilege to gain value from what you delivered to us. We really appreciate that. So we can begin to run our feedbacks about what we learned and everything, so that we can be able to be sure that somebody have learned something. You can go ahead and write through the chat box so we can be able to see it. Thank you very much, sir. This conference continues tomorrow. Today is the first day, tomorrow will be the last day. And as I said, we are moving deeper and deeper, and it is getting more interesting because changing the African narrative is something that is very broad. But if you can really be able to clearly identify your place in this storytelling of the new Africa that is emerging, then you begin to effect these changes. You begin to change this narrative in your own little way, in your own little corner. And as we begin to put together all the small effort we are putting together in our different locations, in our different countries, in our different states, in our different environment and communities, we begin to realize that Africa is beginning to beginning to change, is beginning to experience a shift from what is being known for to what Africa needs to be, because it has to. I think he said earlier that we are what we see is very important. What we see is very, very important. So you cannot rise above what you see. So I believe if Africa need to rise up beyond where she is currently, then she must see something different about herself, then begin to walk towards that direction. You cannot go anywhere if you are not seeing anything. You remain where you are. So, but the moment we begin to have a different a picture about ourselves and where we are going to, then we can begin to see the impact translating in our communities and in our environment. So this conference continues tomorrow. we want to really appreciate everyone that took time to be part of this conference. And our hope is that this team begin to translate into something that we'll begin to see the impact on our continent. It doesn't matter how little it is. We can't despise the days of little beginnings. So as little as these things may be, we must begin to engage them in our various environment and communities and begin to effect those changes. So this is our desire for this conference. This is our goal, that people will have a different perspective. In fact, that's the vision of our organization, transforming the minds of young African emerging leaders, altering their perspective about the African continent, because we understand that young people especially have a program mindset and perspective about the African continent, and we want to provide an alternative perspective to what you already grew up to find yourself in. So this is one of the drive we have in Africa Leadership Engagement Team. So we really thank you all for this time. Our time is already up, so we hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to have the panel session and the questions and question and answer session. So we believe as we join in tomorrow, is going to be also very interesting and then mind-blowing and also transforming. So we hope to see every one of us tomorrow. We are really grateful. We want to thank you on behalf of the team, executives, and everybody. We want to really thank you for your time and resources that you engage to be here with us. Thank you very, very, very much. And I want to say, have a very lovely, is a night now from here. Have a very, very lovely night. Thank you very much. Till tomorrow.